Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud. All right, let's get straight to it. Episode 16 in the building. I'm really excited just because of the fact that the Bills got off the schneid yesterday and got themselves a W, and that just kind of brings my whole spirits up because I did not want to look at this team sitting around at 6-4, to be honest. Joining me again tonight, as always, my wonderful co-host, Adam Dump Truck Rupsick. Holla at the crew, DT. What? I mean, you are literally in the eye of the storm. You were in the eye of the storm. Holla at the crew, man. Let everybody know that you're breathing. You were able to get out. Holla at the crew, DT. What's good, man? How you, man?
What's up, Nickel City? What's up, Nickel City? What's up, Rob? Back in the win column, and next above snow, so you can't ask for much more than that this weekend. That's what we wanted and expected. And what a storm. What a storm to hit the region and how it shifted everything. But glad we're talking here with a dub. All this adversity didn't come for a loss. So glad we're sitting up here talking about a dub and had above snow finally.
Yeah, absolutely. It was crazy. I saw all the stuff on Twitter and Instagram and talking about how more snow fell than maybe 5 Buffalo Bills players, in respect to their height, and Spencer Brown and a couple other guys are just enough taller than the actual snowfall that came. It was crazy. You know what I mean? They talk about sometimes the forecasters and the weatherman will say that something's coming, and we always try to deny or think that they could be, overselling it. They did not oversell this storm, DT. The way that the actual community had to come together, talk about city of good neighbors. The Buffalo Bills literally would not have gotten to the plane had it not been for the Western New York community, especially those out there in Orchard Park area and some of the other guys where they live. Literally, I mean, that is literally like it's like a storybook, like that city of good neighbors, everybody kind of pitching in to make sure that the Buffalo Bills got to the facility at One Bills Drive so they can get on the team bus to get to that airport. And man, I mean, this is good neighbors personified. I mean, I'm not lying, DT. Tell me about it. You right in it, man. You know that I'm not lying about that, man.
I was very surprised with how the team was able to get out of here on Saturday, Rob. This is once not in a lifetime because it's happened a few times, obviously, but man, we're talking 70, 80 inches in Orchard Park in Hamburg, and a couple feet up through the city, just snow everywhere. Couldn't keep up with it. It was surprising that they got out. Just crazy. Like the plows couldn't get down roads to get players. People were having to hitch rides and get shoveled out, and staff was literally meeting people at the edge of the road. Like
yes,
you saw a motor coming through the snow.
Yes, I saw that.
Almost above to his waist.
It's crazy.
So I was nervous about these guys having to shovel out, exerting some energy already on a short week with this injured team. Selfishly, I was like, man, how are these guys even going to move without shoveling? But able to get everybody out there and surprisingly make it work. But it did not. It was something, Rob. I couldn't have, even I wasn't in the South Towns but I obviously was with video and 5 minutes away, and it just sat over. That system just sat over and just dumped all day, all night. It was crazy, wild, man. The time lapse videos of the snow just rising, is incredible. It's something you see with. It was incredible, literally to see it. And
I saw some of those videos of the Ralph. Yeah, I saw some of the videos at the Ralph and how the snow was piling up there. Yes, I saw that video, like you saying, of the skyline view of it coming off of Lake Erie, and it was literally just an ominous storm, and you could just see this is getting ready to dump. And it was crazy because when I heard that Von Miller had to get picked up by, snowmobiles, and I'm like, snowmobiles, that means that the plows weren't even able to get down. And that was literally the situation in and around Orchard Park, where it was just there was literally the plows were literally ineffective. So man, shout out to just Bills Mafia, man. I really want to tip my cap because, sometimes those monikers can kind of fall on deaf ears, and it's just something cute to say. And Buffalo's the Queen City. It's the Nickel City. It's the city of good neighbors. But really, when you show it like that and you are literally responsible, I cannot imagine what it's like to be one of those people that helped scoop out Dawson Knox or scoop out Josh Allen, the squirrel guy who's getting all this attention now, the squirrel trucking guy who got Josh Allen out from his house. Like, just helping and knowing that you had an actual hand in helping get those guys to the facility, it's got to feel good for sure. It's got to, some type of self gratification from that, because you know that you stepped up and you helped out. So for all of those people that did, man, just tips of the cap from Nickel City Crew to you guys, because it could have been a situation where literally your quarterback couldn't get there, or your defensive end couldn't get there, or whatever the case may be. Any of the guys, I mean, literally everybody was impacted by how much snow fell in the area in such a short amount of time. So I just have to tip the cap from the Nickel City Crew to Bill's Mafia, man. City of good neighbors for real, man.
And looking at what came out and really the total snowfall and how fast it came,
Right.
you couldn't have had the game. I really
Mm-mm,
sincerely
mm-mm.
believe that. I know people will argue that, but couldn't have had the game. It was
I
just
hope they
way
wouldn't
too
argue.
much.
I
I
hope they
mean,
wouldn't argue after all the snow that
even if
fell.
you got in there and even if you got in there and get the field cleaned off, which I'm sure they could have done, and because it stopped snowing about late Saturday night.
Right.
So they could have got out there, probably got the field, but no way they would have got the whole stadium even close.
Mm-mm.
The parking
Then you got
lots would
people
have been
coming down, though. You got people coming down to help you
yeah,
shovel. Like, that's dangerous.
yeah,
Like,
it's a
the
mess,
team made
mess.
the right
So
decision.
100% couldn't. That much snow is impossible. They're still digging out. I mean, 2 days later, and schools and everything are still closed. Monday, Tuesday into this week. Like, it hasn't
Yeah.
snowed in 3 days, but that just shows how much it is. Taken to dig out and really get back to normal. It's because when you have that much snow, you obviously there's plows and whatever, but you run out of room to put it too. That's almost a winter's worth of snow in some cases, and we got it in 2 days. So definitely couldn't have had the game. But yeah, tip of the hat to the Nickel City Crew and good neighbors. I know I was out there and people were helping me out, and I was helping my neighbors out down the street and everything in between. It just had to do it. There was just so much snow that you couldn't do it by yourself. So but going to the squirrel thing, Rob, I think Josh made that up. I think he was messing with everybody. I
You
think
think
he
he was
was
messing?
messing with everybody. I think he made up the name and just kind of knowing how the media would just take a story like
They
that.
already have
Oh, a guy named
T-shirts out,
Squirrel, and
bro. They
yep,
already
yep,
have
and
T-shirts out.
CBS, those announcers, James Lofton was eating it up, and they kept talking about it all
Yeah.
the time. So I think that's QB1, just his humor a little bit, with messing with the media and messing with the fans there. But I don't think that guy exists. But it's still funny either way.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, he got out some way, which means that somebody helped him. So,
Yeah.
again, the point remains the same, that the city kind of showed up and kind of showed out in respects to helping out their team and helping out their neighbors, literally, to get to that facility. So yeah, it's been an amazing week. It's been an amazing weekend. We do again hope that everybody stays safe. Stay off the roads if you can. Let the workers do their jobs and all that type of stuff, so that way everything stays clear and hopefully it gets a little bit warmer and the snow starts to melt eventually. But in the meantime, we got a game to talk about. The Bills did get out to One Bills Drive. They did get on to Buffalo International and get on the airport. They went to Detroit, DT, yesterday and played the Cleveland Browns in Detroit at Ford Field. Bills come away with their victory in a game that really, it was kind of a tale of two halves, if you ask me. And I want to definitely kind of go over it with you. But Bills pull out the victory 31-23 over the Browns, who did not look bad. And the way that the game started kind of had some people nervous. And I know that I wasn't hand wringing or anything like that, but I was definitely nervous in the beginning when they went up early, because I just didn't want it to be one of those, just those, we talked about it last week, that if it was going to be a close game, we would be in trouble. You know what I mean? It was going to be something where Cleveland was going to fight. They found a way to stay around early in the game. The offense stays clean, DT. Tell me about some of your opinions on the offensive performance yesterday, because I'll say, for me, there's still something that's wrong with Josh, and I'm being honest. I'm being genuine. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know him personally or anything like that, or his family. So I'm not going to try to dissect what was going on in his brain. But he just doesn't look right to be still. They did stay clean yesterday, and obviously the run game came through in a big way.
Not the start they needed overall. We talked about all week Josh responding and this offense responding to kind of having a stall here over the last couple of weeks, and then they come in Sunday and a horrible offensive first, until the last play
Yeah.
of the first half, really nothing. They didn't have a first down for the longest time with three straight plays, three up, three down, and three and outs
Yep.
that we rarely
Three
rarely
series.
see from
Yep.
this team, and we see it
Hmm.
early in this one. So not the start they needed, Josh, and I agree. It's something's not looking right. I don't know if he's still feeling that elbow. I mean, I don't doubt that he's not, right?
Right.
It's an injury that's probably going to be there for the rest of the year, and it's just going to be something he's got to get comfortable with. I think it's a mix of him not being comfortable with that and the confidence, that a full elbow brings to him. He looked a little tight, a little off, a little. The timing was just behind. And but credit to the Bills coaching staff and Ken Dorsey to kind of keep the game plan, a little more, spread out for him. He didn't have to force anything. It just felt a little defined in some cases where they were trying to get down the field early in the game. They weren't getting there, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, dump off passes. But like it was
Right.
such a aggressive dump off pass, like every time it
Right.
just didn't feel natural. And that feeling we've had for a few weeks now. But kind of contrary to what this team usually does is get off to a quick start, get it rolling. This is the first game I think all year where we didn't get the ball first, so maybe that had something to do with it. But slow start, obviously, we're able to get it done in the second half and at least getting into field goal range. Credit to the defense again. They still, got beat up a little, but offensively, not what they needed. Josh doesn't look right. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to harp on it, and I know that last week's episode, kind of caught some eyes, and everybody's trying to wonder what's going on with Josh and things like that. I'm not suggesting anything other than what I see with my eyes. And what I see with my eyes is a quarterback that is not regressing. I don't want to go too far and be too hot takey, but you know what I mean. He definitely does not look comfortable, and that I think is fair to say. So he finishes the day 18 to 27, 197 yards, a touchdown, that one before the half to Stephon Diggs. And that's something we got to get into because Steph was kind of getting a little bit frustrated. That's the first time that we've seen Steph kind of act like that on the sideline. Sean McDermott quickly stepped in, quickly kind of grabbed his ear. And I don't know what was going on with that exchange. I know that those guys love each other and they're great. They've got a great relationship off the field as well as on the field and a great chemistry. But Steph was a little bit frustrated. No targets in the first half up until that last touchdown before the half, and it was just a weird day for Josh. It was just a weird day, and I don't really know where to place it. The run game, DT, showed up, and the run game showed out. Now, everybody's going to talk about opponent, and we're going to play another team in the Detroit Lions coming up on Turkey Day on Thursday that also kind of struggles against the run. I don't know if it was run specific or not and run defense specific or not, but the Bills, they looked okay. I mean, they looked great. They were running between tackle and outside. They were kind of doing their thing. James Cook definitely played his best game as a Buffalo Bill, 86 yards on the ground. I mean, I don't know. What did you think, man? I did not expect the running game to step up that way, and they really look well. I mean, they look like a proficient running offense. Now, I don't know if that's all
It was it
Cleveland or
was
not, but they look
refreshing.
good.
It was refreshing to see. Definitely, Rob. I mean, you're looking at a game where Josh didn't look as comfortable as he wanted to be, and definitely didn't even want to run. You could tell
Mm-mm.
his eagerness to run was down yesterday too. So somewhere to kind of have his back and take some load off his shoulders was huge. I think the offensive line was setting the tone and setting that line of scrimmage all day. Singletary was running hard, and James Cook was just really had open holes every time he was out there and gave him time to get into the second level. But we let's look at the Browns defense, the 32nd ranked rush defense, Rob.
I know, I
So
know, I know, I
you'd
know.
hope you can rush against them, and gladly they did. But it's good to see those players kind of gain some confidence. You got Singletary on a little touchdown streak now, and I've been harping on this James Cook train. Let's see what this guy can do. We
You
drafted him.
have. You've been on
We
it.
know what we're getting in Singletary. Now we just keep seeing better and better with Jim Cook. So I'm looking forward to him getting involved even more load off Josh's shoulders till he gets back normal, and keep pushing forward. But definitely nice to see on a game where it wasn't what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a flip game script for sure in respects to how much the Bills ran the ball. They put the ball in their running backs' hands a lot yesterday, more than I think at any point in time throughout this regular season thus far. So it was interesting to see the switch of the game plan. I don't know if that was specific to Josh and Ken Dorsey kind of sensing that Josh was having an off day or whatever the case may be. But James Cook and Devin Singletary both end up with 86 yards rushing. That's a whopping 7.8 yards a carry for James Cook. And then again, Devin Singletary, not bad either, 4.8 yards a carry, almost 5 yards a clip. So, and he added a touchdown. So they were proficient, 171 yards on the ground yesterday. And you're absolutely right. Josh did not want to run. And that's totally fine. I would prefer him to not run when he doesn't have to. I want him in those money situations to kind of keep it on those, those quarterback powers, so to speak. And I would love to see that in the red zone. But other than that, it just, like I said, it was just a little bit of an off day for him. 197 yards. That's not really normally what we're used to seeing. Now, as we flip the side of the ball, the defense, again, I'm proud of the defense, DT, because of the fact that, you know what I mean, they're making chicken salad out of chicken shit. I'm being honest, man. How many times do I have to watch Dane Cook in perfect coverage and he just won't turn his damn head? And I'm like, man, and I'm just yelling at the TV yesterday. I'm like, see, Nate, I'm like, you got to turn your head. He's in great position, but he's not reacting to the fact that the wide receiver's got his eyes all open. Amari Cooper's got his eyes, they're getting wide. You should know either. If you're not going to look back, rake at the ball. And I'm just like, man, we just miss Trey White. We miss the fact of the depth in respects to the fact of, Kyrie Elam. And I know that he's a rookie, but we missed those guys out there. And I don't know, man. It just is something about the defense that they keep showing up, even though they are severely undermanned. And I'm so happy to see Poyer back. Poyer, if you can't sense how much he means to this defense after literally the first half of play, like when he made that one play where he separated the ball, I was just like, man, that's Jordan Poyer. We miss him so much every time he's not on the field, man. You can tell.
I mean, you're looking at the feeling over the past, other than the Vikings game last week, the feeling that this defense is getting beat. Like in the middle of the game, you're like, man, we're getting cooked a little bit. But then you look down at the scoreboard and there's 10 points. Or
Right.
they've been going to this guy all day, and you look down,
Right.
they got 14 points in the fourth quarter. And
Right.
so this defense, as we talk about it all the time, Leslie Frazier, bend don't break, as cliche as that is, Rob. That's truly what they are, being undermanned like this. And what a chain reaction it'll be when Trey White comes back. Just
Mm-hmm.
the whole difficulty of that secondary gets easier. The teams aren't going to take as many shots to Trey White's side. Teams are going to take as many shots anyway, rely on the run, and this D line is showing that they can stop the run when that's their task.
Right.
And they did that with, Chubb, the best running back I think in the league, right up there with the best of them at least. And 19
14
yards on 14
carries,
carries.
19 yards. I mean,
Huge,
1.4 a carry.
huge.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Got beat
Beautiful.
on a few screen plays defensively, but kept it in front of them and forced field goals. Had another fourth down stop down the stretch, and then you let them get a few touchdowns in garbage time, whatever.
Garbage
But
time. Mm-hmm.
overall,
Garbage
strong
time.
defense. My man DeQuan Jones with that big field goal
Yes.
block. So
Yes, I
another
thought of you.
contribution for
I
him,
thought of you.
and
Yep.
and ready to roll. And I mean, damn, the defense does what it needs to do, hold them to realistically under 20 till garbage time happens again. But undermanned, but keep showing up. They're in the right position. Credit to Leslie Frazier, but man, J-Po, man, we
Oh
take
my
two
gosh.
big plays in the
As
first
soon as he's
quarter.
on the field,
What a
man.
different energy that is. And now just think you add Trey White back into that, Edmonds back into that,
Edmonds.
and you get
Mm-hmm.
back the full strength and that energy kind of in all cylinders all the way around. We're gonna miss Hyde. We're never gonna feel that this year, but as they get back, the energy is just going to increase around this defense and get better and better. And it's in time. I feel bad because almost every week I'm saying, "Man, we're getting cooked," or "Why can't we guard him?" Dave Jackson, turn around, dude.
Right, right.
And
I was like, oh
and
my
then we
God,
looked,
just
and
turn
it's 10 points on the board. Aaron
around.
Jones has 140 yards rushing against us. That's 10 points on the board. There,
Yeah. Right.
this week, oh man, we can't let this get out of control. It's 13-10 at halftime. So
Yeah.
credit, another show up, and with literally everybody. AJ Epineza goes out, Russo's not in, dropping like flies, and still continue to come out week in and week out and do it.
Unless you are an owner that is hell bent on this next coaching cycle on an offensive guy, I don't know how you don't give Leslie Frazier a look after these last couple of years with the Bills. He is running a wonderful unit, and the fact that again this year he's playing with so many injuries, and he's got to think on the fly, he's got to adjust on the fly, he's got to put Christian Benford and other rookies out there in the fire. The fact that they have responded by playing well, and they've done the best that they can. The fact that the entire defense has stayed intact. And like you just said, they're keeping them off the board. Isn't that the name of the game, is to stop points? So I don't mind the bend don't break, mentality. I don't mind it, especially with all the injuries that they're dealing with. And I'll give 49 Trey Edmonds his flowers. We miss him too when he's not on the field. I mean, all you guys that love Dotson, I know that Dotson's got some athletic ability. We miss Trey Edmonds every time he's not on the field as well, DT. And like this is by far his best season. as a Buffalo Bill. I will tip the cap to him. I was on his ass earlier in the offseason. You know that. I definitely wasn't a proponent of losing, Milano or anything like that in favor of him. So I was going to say, if he wants to get paid top 5 linebacker, he better play like it. He's playing much better this year. He's in on every tackle, it seems like, and we missed him again yesterday.
What a disservice it would be as well, though, tonight, not even to mention Matt Milano, right? What a baller that guy
Yeah,
is.
he's a
He gets
baller.
back in the
He's a
lineup.
baller.
He
He's a
almost had
baller.
that pick in the fourth quarter. He would have had a sack, a fumble recovery, led the team in tackles, and an interception if he would have had his hands on that last pick. Like he's on every tackle. It reminds me of Luke Kuechly back in the a couple of years ago when the Panthers. He's on every play, every tackle, flying around the field when he's ready to roll, and then Edmonds on top of that playing a strong year. Great linebacking core overall. So man, I can't wait to get back healthy again. But credit to this defense. We can't take it for granted, but it's almost a guarantee at this point that this defense is going to show up.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the defense is elite in my mind. The fact that they've been playing with all these different injuries and still showing up every week lets me know that we're in good hands with Leslie Frazier in that side of the ball. I have complete confidence in the defense. I know that we can rush with forward. We've seen it throughout the season that they can rush and bring pressure with forward. Yesterday, only 1 sack on the day, and I know that Jacoby Brissett looked great, but again, I'm putting that.
He looked
I'm just
nimble,
putting more of
Rob.
the secondary, man. Like
He
it
looked
was,
it was
yeah,
frustrating how big he is and kind of how
yeah.
slow he looks, and we were just not able to. We had him so many times, and he was just scampering out. And
Yeah.
that was frustrating, but yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, he looked good yesterday. He threw for over 300 yards, and I understand that again they had some garbage time touchdowns. So we'll keep it all in perspective as we shift and as we move forward. DT, gobble gobble, my favorite holiday of the year. I cannot wait for Thursday. The Bills starting out the Thursday slate 3, a triple header for your Thanksgiving holiday this coming up Thursday. We've got the Bills starting everything off at 12:30 against the Lions. Again, we're going right back to Detroit, getting right back on the plane and going right back out there. The Giants will play the Cowboys at 4:30, and then ending your night will be the Patriots going up against the Vikings, who really laid an egg last night, which was it just makes last week's game even more frustrating to see them play that bad. And then I'm like, what the heck? Like, why couldn't they play like that against us? But it is what it is. The Patriots will play the Vikings to close out your Thanksgiving night. DT, man, I'm excited, man. I'm going to Detroit to see my sister. We're going to the game now. I mean, like all the plans have changed. We're going to go tailgating. Like, I'm excited about this game. I cannot wait to get in there. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I can't wait to see the Bills start everything off at 12:30 against the Lions, man. A tradition.
Push all the adversity aside right now, all the injuries, all the BS. We've been looking forward to this game all year. When they
Yes.
announced the Bills playing on Thanksgiving, it's starting to become a normal thing, and I'm excited for it. I've been
Yes.
thinking, as corny as it sounds, been thinking as I'm going to bed at night sometimes what my plan's going to be. When my family is, I don't have a lot of Bills fans in my distant family, coming for Thanksgiving, but they love the Mafia. They love how pumped up I get. They love the idea of the vibe, and I just can't wait to be the host on Thursday and be not hosting Thanksgiving, but hosting
Right,
the
right,
Bills
right, right.
Mafia hosting the Bills
Absolutely.
Mafia energy. And this game's been circled. I'm pumped up for it. It's early in the day. It's an
Yes.
opportunity to go 8-3, and
Yes.
all the adversity aside, all the BS this team has going through and still has to go through to get to Thursday. I'm pumped up for this one, man. I'm jealous you get out there and with the family, you're going to be out there getting it.
Yeah.
And my roommate's heading there too with his family. They're kind of putting that in place at Thanksgiving. So I know it's going to be live. Sunday was live with the Bills fans. Mafia was out there live, and the
Yeah. It was
people now are
beautiful.
playing for this. So it's going to be a good matchup. Detroit, 3 wins in a row. And
3 in a row.
hey,
Yeah.
here we are.
3 in a
Yeah.
row. Yeah. 3 in a row. They're ready. I know that they're going to be amped up for this game and they want to, Dan Campbell wants to bite off kneecaps and stuff like that. And I get that. They are responding to him as of late. And their defense is, it is what it is. It's kind of piss poor, but the offense, they put up points. So we'll see what they can do against the Bills. I'm excited for the game for so many reasons that you just talked about, along with the fact that, it's a tradition when it comes to the league with, the Lions and they're on and Barry saying, I think about the turducken and, rest in peace to John Madden. And you got all those different turkey legs. And then, like you said, DT, now all of a sudden the Bills have been in these situations where we played against the Cowboys and that romping and all the different Thanksgiving games that we've been a part of most recently, and it's really cool, man. I mean, I know we lost Trey White last year down in New Orleans, but other than that, man, there's been some sweet memories from these Thanksgiving games most recently, and I can't wait to hopefully make some more sweet memories. And I'll be right there yelling nice and loud with a Thurman Thomas on or a Bruce Smith. I wish somebody from the '90s, but I can't wait, man. I'm very excited. If you looked at the schedule, which we did, we had a nice schedule release show about what we expected of the Bills. You tell me 8-3, and you take away. You say, well, it doesn't matter what teams you lost to. I promise you, most people would take 8-3 after 11 games for sure. Now, you might think that we've got a loss to Kansas City. You might think that we had a loss to somebody else, the Ravens maybe, or we slip up against somebody. It doesn't matter who you lost to, necessarily right now. It's just the fact that 8-3 is a damn good record. I'll take 8-3 all day, DT, after 11 games. I really will. And I know that we dropped some division games. And I understand that Jets game sucks, and losing to the Dolphins and the Sun sucks. And obviously last week's, heartbreaking game a couple weeks ago against the Vikings. But listen, man, 8-3 is 8-3. It's a good record. And if you find a way to take care of your business after Thursday, you really are in the driver's seat as we come down the home stretch.
And a great way to reel it back in, with 8-3 is this team we've kind of talked about all year playing, the week of. They're not looking ahead. They were saying Kansas City week. They didn't even know they were playing Kansas City. So then we drop a few losses, and it's quick to kind of jump forward with like, oh shit, where's the 1 seed? Are we going to be able to get the 1 seed? Where are we going to be in playoffs? So this is a kind of a good opportunity with the win yesterday. Now go in there, try to get a win on the road again in Detroit. Go to 8-3 and kind of refocus back week to week, get into division games after that, and then start building back towards that 1 seed again. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it. I hope that's how the team's kind of looking at it, of a way to, we were very singular, very week of approach, and then it kind of got away from us. We started losing some games. Now we're bringing it back in. Let's get on a roll again, week by week, business trip by business trip, and looking forward to see the capability of this team. And I think it's going to be a better game than we originally thought. Even last month, but still think 17 and the boys still have a lot to prove. He's still pissed off. He hasn't responded how he's wanted. Over the last week, he's still got to get back in the MVP caliber race, and he's been great on Thanksgiving. What better way to see him eating that turkey leg at 4 o'clock on Fox and turkey leg and get ready to roll. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I really am. He has not. Some of the MVP conversation has kind of cooled down. I know the Bills are still kind of up there on Caesars when it comes to the favorites for the Super Bowl. They're still kind of right up at the top of the league, but they're no longer just the sole favorites everywhere, and that's fine. Expectations are tough, and sometimes you have to grapple with how do you want to handle them. I embrace them. I told you that my goal is to represent the American Football Conference in Super Bowl 57. I'm not going to back off of that because of some losses and back-to-back losses until this last win yesterday over the Browns. So I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to stay exactly 10 toes down in my space. I still think that this team has the talent to get to Super Bowl 57. I would like some more help when it comes to the wide receivers. I don't know if we're going to get that. I don't know if Jamison Crowder, I don't know if you've heard anything about him coming back, because if we don't get OBJ, this is it. This is your team, Nickel City Crew. This is your team, Bills Mafia. The trading deadline is come and gone. There's no more street free agents besides OBJ after that happens. And once that shoe drops, this is your squad. So you either got to get Jamison Crowder back, you either got to get Khalil Shakir to step up, you either got to get Gabe Davis to shake off whatever he's going through right now, that because he's not playing. He had another drop yesterday that was pretty, weird. And listen, I need the receiving core to kind of surround Josh and be everything that we can be for him as we come down this whole home stretch, because of the fact that it really is about to ramp up after this game. After the Thanksgiving game, if you look on your schedule, we get the proper amount of rest, and we play on a Thursday night on the Amazon Prime game against the Patriots in Foxborough. And then it's just a gauntlet. It's 3 straight division games: Patriots, Jets, Bills, both obviously the Jets and the Bills at home from their opposite games from the, being on the road. But it's shit is starting to get real, DT. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Shit is starting to get real. So I want all hands on deck, and I'm just hoping that the receiving corps can kind of step up, because whatever it is that I see on screen, whatever it is that I watch, even when I was watching him live and you were watching him live against Green Bay and we're watching him live, there's just something off. So I just need him to figure it out. I need the offense to figure it out. Ken Dorsey, whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to look to place blame right now. I want to see play action. I want to see them get out of this funk, and I want to see the offense kind of start humming again like it was in the beginning of the year.
And another, as we talked about resetting, this is a great opportunity for the offense to do that, kind of follow the defense in leadership there on just do your 111. Do your job. Everybody's got to get a little better. Line's got to block a little better. Running game can be better. Josh, we know for sure can be better. And in this receiving core, if it is going to be it, you got to kind of lean to the fact that this is going to be it. I'd like to see some more out of Khalil Shakir, our man, and Gabe Davis has got to be that guy. He's got to step up into that role. He's got the talent. I believe he can do that, and that's kind of where my highlights going to be in the next couple of weeks. I think if 13 comes back to what we know he can be and be a little more consistent, I think everything else is going to chain react out, and we know 17 is going to get right. It's just a matter of time. I think it all clicks at the same time. Look out for 13 to get a little better. That's kind of where my focus is. But overall, it's got to get better because, this division's a lot better too coming up, and there's going to be some tough games, even at home. This Dolphins game's really shaping up to be something, in a couple of weeks as well. So it could be for all the marbles, if you will, Rob. And they're going to have to be a lot better than they've been the last couple of weeks, even in the win yesterday, if they're going to want to make a run again at the AFC East.
Yeah, I mean, the division is way better than we thought, you know what I mean? And I understand that the Jets and the Patriots, they played a weird game yesterday, and it was, 10-3, and it's a punt return and all that other type of stuff. I understand, but the division overall is much better. The Dolphins are not posers. We thought that they could be posers. We thought that Tua really wasn't ready to step up. Besides after the concussion, he literally has been in the MVP discussion. Like any game that he has started for them, they've won, started and finished. They've won. So that's got to mean something. They've been pounded teams. They just pounded Cleveland. I'm interested to see how they finish up their stretch of the year. But I take them seriously now. They've gotten my attention. I'm giving them the respect that they deserve. They have earned it now at this point in time. So there's going to be nothing easy down the stretch for the Buffalo Bills. So just know that Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, there's going to be nothing given to the Bills as we come down the home stretch. Everybody wants to find a way to knock off the top kings. Everybody wants to try to find a way to get at us. And 3 straight divisional games, you really do know where you stand after that point in time. By the time we're done with Miami on December 18th or somewhere around there, we'll know everything we need to know about the Bills before we come to that final 3 games of the season. So I'm excited about it. Everything is still in front of us. I don't know where the horseshoe is there in Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know how you dislodge it from their ass, but they literally – they do it every week, DT. It seems like every week they win a close game that they could have lost. Yesterday was no different last night. I was looking at the game okay, the Chargers, you guys can get this. Okay, you can get this. And then Mahomes, he makes all of the plays when you need him to make the plays. And that is the definition of a franchise quarterback. That's the definition of an MVP. Yeah. He is that. He's no longer the boogeyman to me, but he's damn good. He's damn good.
Yeah. It's almost a guarantee. As you watch it last night,
you can't even get excited. So where's the horseshoe?
You're cheering for him to lose, and you can't even get excited. It's yep, they're going to drive down the score. And gosh, they did as easy as it could be. So, yeah, that's what it takes. And this team's got a Super Bowl under their belt. So the Bills got to kind of follow suit and get there. But before any of that, they got to go back on the road and beat a trending, Detroit team that everyone unanimously had as a W pretty much across the board. I don't know who's picked the Detroit to ever beat the Bills, and I wouldn't this week either. So, that's what we got to look at first, and a lot of get right, a lot of reset, and we're in a good spot to go 8-3 with all that adversity and move on to those division games we're talking about that are going to be so big.
Yeah, man, it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited for it. I know that Bills Mafia is, and Nickel City Crew, we cannot wait for it. So listen, I hope that everybody enjoys the holiday. From Nickel City Crew to all of you, happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there in Western New York for sure. I know that everybody, like you said, DT, is still digging out. So please be mindful of that, and hopefully everybody gets a chance to get some of this snow out of their way and get back to normal life. So to speak, as soon as possible. But other than that, man, let's all come together. Let's all enjoy family, friends, and football on Thursday. Bright and early, 12:30, man. DT, I cannot wait. I leave for Detroit on Wednesday to go see my sister, man. I can't wait, man. And I know that you can't wait either. So, man, listen, I don't know anything other to say than just, man, spread love, please, not hate. If not this week, then what week would you not do it? What week would you do it if you're not going to do it? Spread love, not hate. This is Thanksgiving week. Hit him with a Go Bills, DT. Unless you got something else, hit him with a Go Bills. I can't wait for Turkey Day.
Nickel City Crew, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy, stay safe. Safe travels to you and your family, Rob. And let's see Josh Allen eating that turkey leg, baby. 8-3. Go Bills.
Go Bills, I love it.